Okay, this time I am going to discuss to you class about the compound interest. But before that, let us differentiate simple interest and compound interest. Ano nga ba ang pinagkaiba ni simple interest at saka ni compound interest? When we say simple interest, it refers to an interest which is computed entirely at once from the moment the money is borrowed until it will be paid. Ibig sabihin sa simple interest, even though how many years is that, it will be computed entirely as once. Okay? So when we say, on the other hand, when we say compound interest, it is usually used by banks in calculating interest for a long-term investments and loans such as savings account and time deposits. In this type of interest, the interest due at stipulated interval is added to the principal and earns interest thereafter. Ibig sabihin, dito sa compound interest, mas malaki yung tubo. Kasi yung tubo mo, yung interest mo, mag-i-increase from the previous year. And I will show you that how para mas maintindihan natin ang pinagkaiba ni simple interest at saka ni compound interest through a problem solving or through an example. Okay? So example, 50,000 pesos was loaned for a period of 3 years with 5% interest compounded annually. What amount of money will be needed to repay the loan? Okay, so let's identify first the given. What is the principal? When we say principal again, it is the amount loaned or invested. The amount loaned, the amount borrowed, or the amount invested. So for the problem, our principal is 50,000 pesos or 50,000. Then our rate is, when we say rate again, ano yung rate? Percent. Sino yung number nagdadala ng percent symbol, yan yung rate natin. So our rate is 5%. Then convert it into decimal. 5 divided by 100, 0.05. Use your calculator class for easy calculations. Then our time is 3 years. Yan. 3 years. Okay. We had identified now our given. The principal is 50,000 pesos. The rate is 5% or 0.05. And the time is 3 years. So let us solve first the simple interest. What if we are going to find the simple interest? Okay, the simple interest. Ano yung formula ni simple interest? Principal times rate times time. Or I is equal to PRT. Simple lang, simple interest. So let's try to solve the simple interest. Okay, so the principal is 50,000. 50,000 times the rate. Ano yung rate natin? 0.05 times the time, 3 years. So, our interest is, use your calculator, 50,000 times 0.05 times 3. So, the result is 7,500 pesos. This is the interest. Again, ito pa lang yung tubo. Interest pa lang yan, class. From the investment of 50,000 pesos. Therefore, in simple interest, after 3 years of loan, how much will she pay or will he pay? The future amount. Yeah, we have the future value. What's the formula in getting the future value? We have the principal plus the interest. Principal, yung niloloan niya, plus yung tubo. So, let's try to solve. Ano yung principal niya? 50,000 plus the interest o yung tubo niya, 7,500. Ibig sabihin, after 3 years, the future amount is 57,500 pesos. Ito yung total amount na babayaran niya sa kanyang loan after 3 years. Future amount, principal plus the interest. Simple as that. That is how we are going to compute the simple interest. Now, what if compound interest? Sinasabi kanina, it is usually used in the banks for long-term investments. Okay? So, let's try to compute the compound interest and for you to identify and verify the difference between simple interest and compound interest. Okay. So, in simple compound interest, let's proceed. So, in compound interest, ito yung logic niya. Year. Let's have first. We have the year. Kasi 3 years, 3 taon siya maglo-loan. Yung term niya sa kanyang loan. So, next, we have the principal. Ano yung principal again? When you say principal, ito yung the amount loaned, the amount borrowed, or the amount invested. That's the principal. Next, we have the interest. Ano yung tubo? Yung interest, ito yung tubo. Interest. The next, we have the amount at the end of the year. Okay? The amount at the end of the year. Or, simply the future amount. Okay? So, in compound interest, how many years? The term of the loan? We have 3 years. So, let's compute first the first year, after 1 year, or 1 year. So again, in 1 year, what is the principal? Principal, we have the 50,000. That's the principal. Let's compute the interest. I is equal to PRT. So the interest is equal to, same formula, PRT, 50,000 times the rate. Anong yung rate natin? 0.05 kasi nga I is equal to PRT times the time. Yung time niya, 1. 50,000 times 0.05 times 1. So therefore, the interest after 1 year is, compute, use your calculator class. We have the 2,500 pesos. Ibig sabihin, after 1 year, yung principal niya, the interest is 2,500. Yung tubo pa lang. Therefore, the amount after 1 year, when we say amount after 1 year, it is the future value or the future amount. How to compute the future amount again? We have the principal plus the interest. Yung niloloan niya plus yung tubo. Therefore, the future amount in 1 year is 50,000 pesos plus 2,500 pesos. We have 52,500 pesos after 1 year. Now, since we are applying the compound interest, kasi nga, yung interest mo, tutubo pa rin. Cost ng interest, magkaka-interest again, magiging interest. Okay? So, in this future amount, in 1 year, nagiging 52,500 na. After 1 year. Now, this 52,500, ito naman, yung magiging principal natin sa pangalawang taon. For the second year. Okay? So, for the second year na naman tayo. Kasi nga, 3 years. So, for the second year, 52,500. Ito na naman yung magiging principal mo. 52,500. Kasi nga, we are using the compound interest. Okay. So, same process. How to compute the interest? I is equal to PRT, principal, 52,500, plus the rate, 0.05. I mean times, not plus, times 1. Pangalawang taon na tayo. So, what's the result? Use your calculator class. 52,500 times 0.05 times 1 is 2,625 pesos. So, this is now the interest after 1 year. After 2 years, I mean, kasi pangalawang taon na tayo sa kanyang loan. So, the future amount is how much? Principal plus the interest. We have 52,500 plus 2,625 is equal to 55,125 pesos. So this is now this is the future amount after 2 years. But we are not yet done because the term of the loan is 3 years. So let's proceed to the third and final year of the loan. So ito yung 55,125 pesos, it will serve now as our principal. So, 55,125, that's the principal. Then compute the interest, ito na yung principal natin. 55,125 times the rate of 0.05 times 1. So, the future amount after 3 years, try to solve it first class. So, 55,125 times 0.05 times 1. Use your calculator, the result is 2,000. The result is 2,756.25. Therefore, the future amount after 3 years is 55,125 plus the interest or the principal plus the interest. 55,125 plus 2,756.25 is equal to 57,881.25. So this is the logic behind the compound interest. Ibig sabihin, the future amount after the loan for 3 years with an interest rate of 5%, with a principal of 50,000, if you are applying the compound interest, the future amount is 57,881.25. But if you are using the simple interest, we have 57,500 pesos. See the difference? Again, simple interest, it will be computed entirely at once. Isang beses lang, times 3 agad. Times 3 agad. Pero, dito sa compound interest, every year mo i-compute. Yung future amount niya for the first year, that will be the principal for the second year. That's the logic behind the compound interest. Okay? So now class, question. Sir, paano naman if yung loan niya aabot ng 20 years? So will you apply this process? Are you going to 1, 2, 3 until 20? Class, that's too long. Sobrang haba ng solution, di ba? Kaya nyo ba 20? 20 years? Kukupit ka ng 20 years? Pwede naman. Kaya naman. Pero it takes time. But now, again, the logic of mathematics, it's not, the essence of mathematics is not to make simple things complicated, but to make complicated things simple. So we have the formula in solving the compound interest or the compound amount. Okay? So the formula is this one. Okay, so here is now the formula for the compound amount. F is equal to P times the quantity of 1 plus I quantity raised to the power of N. Where F is the compound amount or the future value. Again, do not forget class that future value is just called as the maturity value. Then P is for the principal or the amount borrowed, the amount loaned or the amount invested. Then the R is for the rate, T is for the time, and M is for the conversion period. And M has 4 values. When we say annually, when you can read from the problem the word annually, so the value of M is 1. If semi-annually, the value of M is 2. Quarterly, M is equal to 4. Monthly, M is equal to 12. Again, the value of M, which is our conversion period, is depending on the problem. If you can read annually, the value of M is 1. Semi-annually, the value of M is 2. Quarterly, the value of M is 4. And monthly, the value of M is 12. And N is for the total number of conversion periods. And the formula of N here from the exponent to get the value of N is we are only going to multiply M and T. Again, how to get the N here from the equation? The value of N is equal to the M times T. M times T, or the conversion period times the time. And we have the I, or the periodic rate. And the value of I, how to get the value of I? Simply divide rate by the conversion period. Again, the formula P plus times the quantity of 1 plus I. How to get the I or the periodic rate? Simply divide rate by the conversion period or the M. Then the value of N here is, how to get the value of N? Conversion period times the time. Okay? So let's now proceed to an example or a problem involving compound interest. Okay, we have here the first problem solving involving compound interest. Joseph borrows 50,000 pesos and promised to pay the principal and interest at 12% compounded monthly. How much must he repay after 6 years? All right. The first thing we need to do is we have to identify the given. Identify the given. Okay? So what is our principal? Again, what is the definition of principal? When we say principal, the amount borrowed or the amount invested. So our principal is 50,000 pesos. Then, our rate, when we say rate, the percent. So our rate is 12%. Divided by 100, convert it into decimal. This is 0.12. Again, 12%, 12 divided by 100 to convert it into decimal, 0.12. And our time is 6 years. And what is our M? When we say M, again, this is the conversion period. So when we say annually, that is 1. Semi-annually, 2. Quarterly, 4. And monthly, that is 12. So from the problem, what conversion period is being used? We have compounded monthly. When we say monthly, the value of our M is 12. Okay? So we are now done identifying the given. So this time, let's proceed. What's the formula to the solution? But before that, let us write first the formula. The formula of getting the amount or the future amount of the compound amount is F or the future value is equal to P, the principal, times the quantity of 1 plus I raised to the power of N. Okay. So the first thing that we need to do in this formula is we have to find first the value of I and the value of N. Since we already have the value of P, the principal. So this time, we have to get first the value of N and the value of I. Now, how to get the value of N again? In formula, in getting the N, we have to multiply the M and T. So in getting the N, M times T. So what is our M? Our M is 12. Times, what is our T? Our T is time, 6 years. So 12 times 6, use your calculator class for easy calculation. That is equal to 72. So we have now the value of N. This time, we need to get the value of our I. Ano yung I? Periodic rate. So what's the formula of getting the I or the periodic rate? The formula in getting the I is equal to R over M. What is our R? Or the rate? Our R is 0.12. This is our R. Divided by the M. R divided by the M. Our M is 12. So 0.12 divided by 12 is, what's the result? Use your calculator again, class. The result is 0.01. So we have now the value of N, which is 72, the value of I, which is 0.01. So let's try to look back again to the formula. The formula is F is equal to P times the quantity of 1 plus I quantity raised to the power of N. So do we have the value of P? Yes, our P is 50,000 pesos. 1. Do we have the value of I? Yes, we already have the value of I. 0.01 by simply dividing the rate and the M. So 0.12 divided by 12 is 0.01. And of course, we have the value of our n, which is 72, because in getting the value of n, we have to multiply only the m and the t. So 12 times 6, that is equal to 72. Okay? So this time, let's proceed to the solution. In finding the solution, class, we have to substitute the given values to the equation. So we don't have the value of f because that's what we are looking for. What is our p? Our p is 50,000. Substitute the values. Do not change anything from the equation. Just simply substitute. So 1, copy 1. Plus, what is the value of our I? Our I is 0.01. And what is the value of our n? Our n is 72. Okay? So now, class, in this time, you can use your scientific calculator. Do not make things complicated. Just do the easiest thing that you can do to make to solve the problems. Okay? So you can use your calculator, class. So this time, we have to apply the PEMDAS. We have to apply the step by step. So F is equal to copy. We need to simplify first what is in the parentheses. Diba? Parentheses. PEMDAS. P-E-M-D-A-S. Parentheses first. Copy 50,000. Then 1 plus 0.01. Use your calculator. That is 1.01. We did not use yet the exponent 72. So we have to copy 72. Okay. So after that, class, after simplifying what is inside the parentheses, we have to apply now the exponent. So we need to simplify 1.01 raised to the power of 72. 1.01 raised to the power of 72, the result is 2 or f is equal to, copy 50,000 because we're not yet using the 50,000. 1.01 raised to the power of 72, that is 2.0471. You can use apply it, class. You can round it off until 4 decimal place. 2.0471. After that, multiply. So 50,000 pesos. The result is 102,354.9656. Since we are using about money, when we are talking about money, only until 2 decimal place. If you are talking about money, please make it sure that your final answer is until 2 decimal place. So the final answer is 102,354 pesos and 97 centavos, or this one. Okay. Therefore, Joseph must repay 102,354 pesos and 97 centavos after 6 years. Okay, so we have here the second example. Find the compound amount and interest earned on 15,000 pesos for 1 year at 7% compounded quarterly. Again, we will say compound amount. That is the future value or the maturity value. And we are looking for the compound amount or the future value and the interest earned or yung tubo sa kanyang ini-invest. Okay? So now, first thing to do, anong gagawin? We need to identify first the given. Saan yung given natin? So our principal, our P is equal to 15,000 pesos. And our time is 1 year. Then the rate is 7%. Convert it into decimal. Paano yung i-convert yung percent natin? Simply divide it by 100. 7 divided by 100, that is 0.07. And our M, anong M natin? Conversion period. Anong ginagamit natin sa problem number 2? We are using the quarterly. Quarterly, sa yung quarterly, that is 4. So we are going to use M is equal to 4 dahil quarterly. Then, yes, that's the given. So next, we have to write the formula. What's the formula in getting the compound amount? The formula we are going to use is F, or the future value, is equal to P times the quantity of 1 plus I over N. Okay, so we have the P already. So what we are lacking here is I and N. We don't have the I and N yet. So first, we need to find the N. And yung formula in getting the value of N, we have the M times T. Or M times T is equal to, what is our M? Our M is 4. At our time, what is the time? 1 year. Therefore, the value of N is 4. This is the value of our N. Next, I. How to get the I? R over M. This is the formula in getting the I. R over M. So what is the value of our R, or the rate? Our rate is 0.07 divided by the M. Our M is 4. Okay, class, in this lesson, please use your calculator for easy calculations. So 0.07 divided by 4, what is the result, class? The result is 0.0175. Again, if you are still in the solution, do not round off the decimal places. So 0.07 divided by 4, the result is 0.0175. So we already have the value of P, 15,000. We have the value of I, 0.0175. And our value of N is 4. So we are now going to substitute the given values to the formula. So let's proceed to the solution. So our F is equal to, what is our P? Principal is 15,000 times the quantity of 1 plus, what is our I? Our I is 0.0175. Our N is 4 raised to the power of 4. So, let's go. Simplify first inside the parentheses. 1 plus 0.0175, that is 1. Use your calculator, class. 1.0175. So, we are not using yet the exponent 4, so we have to copy the exponent 4. So, next, we have to simplify 1.0175 to the power of 4. Use your calculator. 1.0175 raised to the power of 4. That is F is equal to, we are not yet using this 15,000. So copy 15,000. Then the result of 1.0175 raised to the power of 4 is 1.0718 So next, multiply by 15. So times 15,000. 15,000 times 1.07185931. The result is how much? Use your calculator again. The result is 16,077.89. Again, class, if we are talking about money matter, we have to use the two decimal places. Therefore, the compound amount or the future value is 16,077 pesos and 89 centavo from the investment of 15,000. Now, how much is the interest? So the formula of getting the interest, we have the F principal plus I. Diba? Right? So in getting the interest, you have to transpose P. So therefore, transpose P, F minus the principal is equal to I. Or the formula in getting the interest is equal to future value minus the present value. Yung total amount, compound amount, minus the principal, that is your interest. O yung tubo ng iyong investment. So our future value is 16,077 pesos and 89 centavo minus the interest, the principal, 15,000. So the interest is, how much is the interest? 16,077 pesos and 89 centavos minus 15,000. The result is 1,077.89. So this is now the interest. So let's understand the problem. After investing 15,000 pesos for 1 year at 7% compounded quarterly, the future amount, the future value or the maturity value is 16,077 pesos and 89 centavos. From 15,000, it becomes 16,077 pesos and 89 centavos. So, how much is the interest? So, 16,077 centavos, 0.89 minus 15,000 is equal to 1,077 pesos and 89 centavos. Okay, class, we have now the last example and it is different from the previous example. The previous two examples, we are looking for the future value or the future amount or the maturity value or shall we say the compound amount. This time, what if we are looking for the present value? When we say present value, the principal, the value that is not yet having the interest, the amount of investment of the amount you borrowed. Okay? So here's the problem. How much must be invested today in a savings account in order to have 50,800 pesos for 6 years and 9 months if money earns 5.4% compounded semi-annually? Okay? The first thing we need to do is we have to identify the given. Yes. So what are our given? The principal, we don't have the principal because we are looking for the principal invested today. So we don't know how much is the investment for today. So which is amounting to in the future. Look at read the problem. In order to have, so meaning this is 50,000 is our future value. So by simply understanding the problem, class, our future value is 50,800 pesos. This is our future value because we are looking for the present value or the principal. Next, what is our time? Our time is 9 years, 6 years, 6 years and 9 months. So 6 years. We have to convert because as I said in the previous lesson, time must be in years. But we have 9 months here. So to convert into decimal, ano yung gagawin? There are 12 months in 1 year. So we have to divide 9 by 12. So 6 years, 9 months divided by 12 to convert it into year. So what's the result? So 6 and 9 divided by 12. 0.75. Therefore, our time is 6.75 years. Because we cannot use the months for the solution because time must be in year. That's why we have to convert 9 months into year. So next, our rate. What is our rate? Our rate is 5.4%. Again, if it is still in the same in the percent form, convert it into decimal. So how to convert to decimal? 5.4 divided by 100. So that is 0.054. So this is now our rate. What about our M? Our M. What is our M? Our M is compounded semi-annually. When we say semi-annually, that is 2. So we need to use 2 for the conversion period. So now, let's find the I. What is our I? Our I is R over N. Okay? So what is the value of our R? Our R is 0.054 divided by our M, which is 2. Our M is 2. So divide 0.054 divided by 2, that is 0.027. Therefore, our I is 0.027. And our N, how to get the value of N? M times T. What is our M? Our M is 2 times the time, 6.75. Our time is 6.75, so 2 times 6.75, so our N is 13.5. Okay? So we have now the value of the future value. We have now the rate. We have the time. We have the I and the N. So we can now use the formula. Okay, class? Remember, the formula in getting the present value is P is equal to f, or the future value, times the quantity of 1 plus I raised to the power of negative n. Raised to the power of negative n. Okay, again, P is equal to f, the future value, times the quantity of 1 plus I raised to the power of negative n. Okay, so now, anong gagawin natin? We have to substitute the values to the formula. What is our future value? What is our f? Our f is 50,800 times 1 plus I. Or 1 plus, ano yung I natin? Our I is 0.027. And our exponent is negative. Use negative because the formula is negative. Negative n, negative 13.5. Okay, class? In this problem, always remember, you can use your calculator. I will teach you how to use the calculator. So, to solve it easily. So, 50,800, just encode this class to the your scientific calculator. 50,800, open parentheses, encode 1 plus 0.027, close parentheses. Okay? How to apply this exponent? If you can see, the x, if you are using this calculator, 991EX plus, you can see the x with the box in the exponent, you have to press that one. Press the x with the box in the exponent, this one. Okay? So, encode the input, the negative 13.5. Then, the result is 35,453.79. So, this is now our present value. 35,453.79. Or in the other word, guys, same process with the present value. You have to simplify 1, or in other words, we can use other solution, 50,800, 1 plus 0.027. 1 plus, the result is 1.027 raised to the power of negative 13.5. You can use this one, simplify. 50,800. So, 1,000, 1.027 raised to the power of negative 13.5. The result is 0.6979093416. Then multiply it by 50,800 times 50,800. The result is just the same. 35,453.79. Okay, class, you can input directly to your calculator. So that is how we are going to use the present value. The formula in getting the present value is different from the formula of getting the future value. The formula in getting the present value is P is equal to F times the quantity of 1 plus I, quantity raised to the power of negative n. And that ends the video tutorial about compound interest, and I hope you learned something about math, and I hope you learn to embrace and love mathematics. And please guys, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the notification bell for you to be notified for more and more and more videos to come. So, once again, this is me, Teacher R, saying thank you so much. May God bless us all, and see you on my next video.